Hello, Will. You're in charge of Gunboat factory since the beginning, in fact. When was it?
We started this factory in 2016, and we were fortunate because we could actually start from scratch.
Yeah.
So there was an old building here, we demolished it, and we started from scratch. So we could set it up exactly like we wanted to. So right now we've got about 4,000 square meters, a team of 90 people, and we're set up to build 4 Gunboat 68s per year.
And the plan is to do a little tour right now.
Exactly. I'm happy to have you.
There we go. So when I read infusion here, what it is?
Basically, this is our composite shop. So we do all our infusions here. And the reason why there are signs is because we temperature control the room. So all the infusion and all the work is always kept at 25 degrees. That's to control humidity and also just for the resin when we do it. Here you can see that we actually have our transom, and they've been infused yesterday. So all the tubes are still attached. But here you can clearly see that it's under vacuum, and we actually suck the resin through it.
And so that part, to have an idea of the scale of the boat, is just the back of the transom.
Exactly.
The stairs.
Exactly. So this is actually the smallest part we have.
Yeah.
After that, it gets bigger.
So what's
like
the biggest part in infusion for sure?
It's the bridge deck, so the center hull of the hull. This is the roof next to you over here. We can have a look. What they're doing at the moment is all the carbon is put on dry, and then they put foam and more carbon, and now they're putting the flow medium on top of it. So that is the mesh, and that allows the resin to flow across and then into the part. And after that, they'll put the vacuum bag, and that's where we start the process that you just saw on the transoms.
So that's a mold.
This is a mold. All these molds are CNC, 5-axis CNC plugs, and we make molds out of it. So they're full production molds. Even though we're a semi-production or semi-custom product, we do full production molds.
Which means you are not limited in numbers of pieces.
Exactly. I mean, we can build hundreds of pieces if we wanted to. So what you see here is basically what we call a cutting table.
Yeah.
So it's dry carbon, and the dry carbon fiber is what goes into the molds, and then the resin is infused and put into that afterwards. And that's nice because it means that you can control your quality really well. You can cut exactly the shapes that you need into it. And we also get a lot of pieces of our carbon CNC cut off-site. And we get it sent to us in a little bag, like a little gift, and we can place it onto the mold exactly.
The quality of this carbon is more or less the same as the one we use in our racing boats?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same thing. I mean, basically there's different methods of curing the resin in these carbons, yes. But essentially it's exactly the same thing that's used in the race boat industry. In fact, Gunboat, our structure is designed by VPLP in Van, which designed all of your boats as well.
Yeah.
And it is a race boat structure in every way.
Where are we here, Will?
Okay, so this is boat 5. Okay.
So that's the main bulkhead, one of the two.
This is the companionway bulkhead, the mast bulkhead's on the other side. So the key difference here is that we're infusion experts, and we're really good at infusing the big parts.
Which is the case of the hulls and
exactly,
the deck.
Hull, deck, roof, so on. So what we try and do is everything that we could put on a truck, sometimes it's worthwhile to outsource it because there are people that are more specialized than we are in pre-preg technology, etc. So we have a supplier that does all our bulkheads in pre-preg, and with that, then that's 2 tons of carbon that we save 10% on. So that's another 200 kilograms that we save. There's a bunch of suppliers that we use for dagger boards, obviously for the mast, for the davits, so all these small components where we go to suppliers that are really specialized in those components, and we use suppliers all over Europe. So just a point on quality quickly. It's sometimes a boring process to bring into place, but it's really important. So what we do is we break down all the steps in the build into as small steps as possible, and then we really embed the quality directly into that. So this is what we call a build book or standard operating procedure, and in that would be what the quality definition is, and then every single page is one step of the build, and we would be able to, we'd ask the workers to sign each step, and then it's also verified by quality control.
So Will, here we are in the middle of the boat, on the deck, I should say.
That's right.
In the cockpit. which is the very, let's say, part of the DNA of Gunboat.
Exactly.
That's a central cockpit.
Exactly. People always say to us,
the mast is supposed to be
the
here.
mast is right here,
Yeah.
exactly. And people always say to us, it's interesting that you have an inside helm, but the point is not that the helm's inside. The point is that gunboats are created to be able to be handled really short-handed, so two people can sail this very powerful, 70-foot boat. So from this area you can control every line on the boat, and it just happens that the wheel is close by to that. And then you can go inside and you're in warmth and comfort, and we have push-button control.
So here, this is boat 4.
That's right.
Waiting for the deck we've just seen.
Exactly.
And then you start the first layer of carbon. When was it?
It was about 6 months ago this boat was done. So, it was started, sorry. And it'll take another 11 months till we start sea trials. And the boat will be delivered before the end of the year.
Between 16 and 18 months.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Loïck, so what we'll look at here is in the hulls, you can see that the tanks and all the plumbing have been done. This is the owner's cabin, so this is the owner's berth that's been glued in. Again, you can see all the systems that are neatly run underneath that. And maybe I can show you a little detail of some of the rules in Gunboat of how we
So we are in the starboard hull right now?
Exactly, yeah.
Main cabin.
Starboard hull, owner's cabin.
Owner's cabin, all right.
So like this is just an example of some of the systems and some of the rules that we've put in place on Gunboat. So we have this philosophy that this beautiful structure that we have, we never want to attach anything to it or bolt something into it. So we really have a philosophy of gluing components to it so that you maintain the structure. Exactly. So we've got these little boards here, and this also actually electrically isolates everything from the carbon, and everything is neatly glued and labeled and clear. And of course, for the owners and especially the skippers and the crew, we want to make things as easy as possible to access and to maintain in the future.
Alors, Will, here we are in the main cabin, or the owner cabin.
That's right.
And so this is the bed, the double king-size bed, which is here, with a view, a sea view, marvelous sea view. Exactly. The bathroom are here, and this is the main cabin. But I have a question. Does the owners, future owners of those boats, are visiting the yard, and especially their future boat at that stage?
It doesn't take a lot of convincing to get people to come to the south of France and to visit us. So
I'm pretty sure.
We're very close with the owners through the build. They choose everything that you see and touch. You can choose any color or any texture inside the boat. So it becomes a very personal experience, and we try to think of it as an experience from the moment you first meet us to the moment that
you sail.
Well, it's a continuing experience after that, and you can see. So it's fun. We meet a lot of great people through this, and the visits are always fun. Especially in these times where you can see the boat bare, take photos, and then in the future, it's also you can remember, that's how it was built, or that's how that looks behind that, and how to access it, etc. So
next step right now, we're gonna have a look at the more or less finished product, number 3. Here we are.
So Loïck, I was telling you earlier about our investment in our tooling, and because we have such smooth molds, we end up with extremely little fairing on the boat, and the very, very smooth hulls. So our gunboat owners, they love striking paint jobs, especially metallic paint jobs.
That's a long process. I mean, the full paint process from the carbon layer. To the day.
It's a lot of hours, so it takes us 3.5 months to do from nothing all the way to the end, inside and out. I mean, we do the entire boat.
But the problem is, during that period, you can't do anything else.
For a little bit, we can do while we're doing the outside. There's still some carpentry work carrying on. But then at one stage, yes, for 6 weeks or something, it's just focused on paint.
So this is the top of the roof. Here you have something able to be open.
A big sunroof that can open. So when you're at the helm, you can see the sails and
feel a bit of wind.
Exactly, nice ventilation.
But then, are you using that big area like that?
Absolutely. That's a nice thing about these catamarans, that we have this big surface area, and obviously it's silly not to just take the free energy from above. So we fill this with as much solar panels as we can. So we have 3 kilowatts of solar panels on top of this roof.
Bon, alors là, il y a marqué, vous êtes ici. We are here. I know.
Thanks for the translation.
That's interesting. That's the gunboat factory, and behind us, there is number 3, which I've seen, underpaint.
Exactly.
So the boat is going to be rolled out here and launched somewhere here?
Yeah, it'll go to final fit out, but after that, in 1st of July, launch is going to be right across the road in the port over there.
Perfect. Bon, oui, merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.
Pleasure having you, Loick.
Merci.
See you.